There's a lot of stressors. There's a lot of poking and weaving that you can do to try and upset the driver in front of you. So I'll be interested to see if that plays out.
Matt Walbaum has selected driver's right for the start. We'll see if your call of driver's left was the move. It'll be Matan Rosenberg up on the front row in the 484 Chevrolet Corvette. Here we go. Eibach GRIDLIFE Touring Cup Race 4 underway at Autobahn Country Club. GRIDLIFE Chicagoland, 3 wide at the back of the field into turn 1 though. Rosenberg on the outside. Walbaum's going to clear, and here comes Cattell for second place. Critical pass for him in that championship hunt.
Well, I was very wrong right off the start.
Well, I think Cattell is stoked that you're wrong, because he's now second place and has Rosenberg behind him. 3 cars off the racetrack. Robbie Vera out in the back, Ronald Till in the back, and Tony Marchev dodges and weaves. Everyone gets out of there okay now, but we head down to turn number 5, and now under fire is Rosenberg for third place, because that is the 212 of Andy Smedegaard.
Man, what happened there? That's a huge gap in just a couple of corners. Is something hurt with Matan? He looks like he's nursing through there.
Yeah, it doesn't really look like he's got the speed on this opening lap for sure. Struggling a bit. Now Cattell is all over the back of Matt Walbaum. And Matt and Eric, again, I think they've got a friendship off the racetrack. Saw them chatting last night, but Eric Cattell is not going to wait around. He would love to go 3 for 4 this weekend and make as big of a dent as possible in the championship points here heading into Laguna Seca.
Yeah, he poked that nose inside. He didn't really have overlap, but Matt gave him room anyways. That's the kind of racing we like to see. And it looks like Cattell got a really good run out of 10 here.
Now down the backstretch, side by side, on the wrong side of the road if he wants this lead, but the track will come back to him here at the left at turn 12.
He's made this work.
The curb, and Cattell, to your point, Mike, he made it work, and he takes the lead.
Andy hunting now. Friends, teammates. Andy sets up the car, builds the car. I know Matt does a lot of work too, but what do you do here? You let the boss man go?
I don't think you let him go, but I don't know how long you'll fight him, or how long you can fight him for. Cattell takes the lead, and Smedegaard to second. Here's why this matters. Cattell leads, and Rosenberg fourth. That puts Eric Cattell in the lead of the title race by 2 points.
Oh my goodness.
And Lena Chin back there in 5th. Look at Ayrton Grimm, also lingering in the background.
Yeah, we're still tight from 1st all the way back to 5th for the most part here. Everybody's in the shot still.
Working their way through turns 5 and 6 now, swinging back around to the far side of the racetrack. Andy Smedegaard now chasing down Eric Cattell. Andy was quicker than Eric in the previous race. I wonder if he's got a little bit of speed left to run down that 82.
Well, how does rewards weight play into this? I know that that's still a system in place. Are they matched in rewards weight? Is Eric carrying a little bit more? What are we looking at
I think
there?
Eric will be a little bit more, because you get 1 per win, but that's at the end of the weekend that will apply.
Oh, okay.
So Eric's carrying a bit more rewards weight than Andy. And Andy is closing in, isn't he?
Yeah, Andy's making a good run here out of 10. We don't see the back end of his car swinging out nearly as much, but man, is he deep on the brakes. He's been out braking all weekend long. We've seen it in turn 8. Just carries a whole lot more speed into the corner, and that gives him a lot of opportunity to close up in 11 here.
Across the stripe there. Car length and a half.
Look at him close up into 1 here as well. And he still seems to maintain pace through the corner, so it just seems really hooked up right now.
Navigating through turn 4, or turn 3 rather, and Smedegaard still closing in. There's the timing and scoring, was hoping for it. And as we navigate through turn 4, look at Smedegaard now, 3 car lengths between them, and closing.
Oh, he just slung it around turn 5. Really had some good slip angle there for Eric Cattell. 6 is a tricky one. See what kind of run they get out of here.
Oh, Andy dropped off the end of the curb there.
Now watch how he tightens up into turn 8 here, under the brakes. Look at how he closes that distance. Now you'd normally expect kind of that accordion effect, so he'd close up real tight under the brakes, but then maybe space out as Eric gets onto the throttle before Andy is able to. But for some reason, he's just able to stick to his rear bumper that way.
Coming up around turn number 10, and Matt Walbaum, a distant memory there in the mirror of those front 2. So here's the scenario: if Rosenberg were to catch Walbaum and grab 3rd place, it doesn't actually change the points at all. So as long as Cattell's out front, he would walk away as the championship leader there. But I'll bet you Andy Smedegaard has got a real shot to unseat him here.
I don't think Andy cares about how Cattell's championship points are going this weekend right now. I think he wants this win.
Here's the gap, half a second across the line. And Andy with the purple lap there, you see he's a little bit quicker.
Waldbaum's putting on a pretty good spread to Rosenberg as well. I wonder if Rosenberg's just making sure that he brings the car home safe. Not these two in front, though. Just slinging it through turn 3, using all the track there.
Yeah, and Andy actually got left in the dust at turn 4 just a little bit. And I think Cattell just digging a little deeper to find some speed.
His tires do seem to last longer throughout the race here as well, which is kind of counterintuitive to what I would expect. But so far throughout this weekend, he's come on really strong towards the end of the race. So if he can keep this gap, he might outlast him on tires.
Yeah, that's the other consideration. The GT86.2, as Andy calls it, is about 300 pounds heavier than Eric's car. Eric tried to go to a heavier setup with a little extra power at Mid-Ohio, but that didn't really work out for him, so he went back to the lighter formula. Seems like a lot of drivers felt like the middle of the rules as far as the weight was sort of the the anti-Goldilocks spot. You want to be on either end, either really heavy or really light. And down into turn 11. Look at the gain on the brakes for Andy. Oh, look at that big slide. He is charging.
They're both using way more inside curb on 11 than we've seen them throughout the weekend. So I wonder if that just means they're pushing, or if they've decided to try a new line, or if there's a little bit of lead follow happening there.
Yeah, again, maybe some target fixation. Look at the last lap delta, 1,000 between them last time around. 2/10 advantage to Cattell that time in defensive Andy. Again, Andy not really caring about the long-term implications of what's going on the track right now. Cattell is here for that championship trophy and the weekend trophy. And again, there's some drivers that could care less about the total of the points column at the end of the year. And there are others, that's all that drives them. Cattell, a 2020 champion in this series. The only two-time champ is Jeremy Swenson, who's not running with us any longer. And it will be either Matan Rosenberg or Eric Cattell that will add themselves to that category this year when we finish up at Pittsburgh International Race Complex.
Pretty incredible to see returning veterans like that just able to stay on top of their game for that long. I know Cattell he's been in the mix every year since 2019. He's been so close. I think one of those championships that Jeremy got, Cattell was right there until that dreadful Road America situation.
Yeah, that was 2021, and in 2019, the first ever race at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course for GLTC, Eric Cattell was the race winner by about this much over Aaron Lichty.
Oh, man.
He's still this many years into competition, right up at the front, and Andy putting so much pressure on the back of the 82.
Andy's reminded him that the weekend is not over.
Well, it's not over until the checkered flag flies. Through turn 13 and 14 and coming across the start-finish line. What does Andy do now? Where do you find a little extra time? He's been really good on the brakes into turn 11, but hasn't been close enough to get overlap on him.
Yep, I think you keep pressuring in the brakes, and you're gonna hope that Eric makes an uncharacteristic mistake for him right now. Eric is really setting up for a different line than what we see Andy do, and as long as the rear end of that car can stay planted for Andy, he can keep making that pressure on the brakes. If you're faster into the corner, you're generally a little bit slower out of the corner. So the approach there is definitely something about just creating pressure, not necessarily getting the better exit for right now.
Yeah, charging down into 6 and 7. Andy about 2.5 tenths quicker last time around the racetrack, looking deeper in the field here. Here's Tony Marchev driving up through the field. Julio Crispin ahead of him. Dakota Pionic behind him.
Dakota's doing an amazing job with that car this weekend.
He is. Again, a little smoke. I think locking up that left rear tire again. No ABS in that car, and those front-wheel drive Hondas like to drag their rear tires. Again, you see it, and a little lateral slide there to boot.
I love Lou's car. That thing just stands out. It's beautiful to see. That E36 looks great on track.
Yeah, more yellow cars. That certainly helps a lot. I think that was Ty Wynn back there that was looking for a position on Zach Mortimer down into turn 6.
Uh-oh.
Someone was getting back in line there. That seemed mighty nice.
Yes, that was definitely a kind move.
Was that Crispin and Marchev that were trading spots there? Perhaps. But Matt Waldbaum hangs on to third place over Rosenberg. Here's your leaders again. Across the stripe this time. Andy lost a little ground to Cattell.
Yeah, sometimes it's just about picking your moments. You get up real close, you make them nervous, you show them that you're there, and then maybe you back off a little bit. Give yourself some space. Let the car cool a little bit, because you don't get as good a cooling when you're front, bumper to bumper like this, it's harder on the car. So if you can get up there, show them that you're there, and then back off a little bit, give them a sense of confidence, and then attack later on the next lap.
Let's take a moment to appreciate the battles that these two have been in, really the last 5 races, because this goes back to Lime Rock Park where these two both passed Eric Magnussen on the outside of the uphill. That was a crazy move there. Cattell came out on top of that fight. And 2 of the fights to start the weekend. Of course, Smedegaard logged another win in the category earlier today and is trying to do that one more time. It's just going to be a mistake from somebody that will seal the deal on this.
Yeah, he really makes a lot of time from turn 8 through patience and out of 10.
And look at how close they are, within hundredths every lap. And Andy, again, doesn't seem to get out of turn 10 as well. Then thundering down the backstretch here. Look at him having a look at Cattell, just trying to fade out of the rearview mirrors.
I'm still here. Cattell, this is a big mental game. Oh, big slide again. He's using everything he can to stay on that back bumper through 11. But Cattell to not be driving in the rearview mirror, when you've got somebody hounding you like this, that's a big mental game as he dips a wheel there, using it all.
One more lap. White flag is out. So they're going to have one last lap to do battle here. 0.027. Advantage for Cattell over Smedegaard as far as their lap times last time around. They are matched so evenly, but Smedegaard will need just a little bit more.
I think the opportunity is going to come with the exit of turn 10. He closes the gap really well there. If he can get a good run out of 10 and be able to poke inside, get some overlap into 11, that's where I think this is going to happen.
And in the weekend points, this is going to probably seal the deal for Eric Cattell to win on the weekend. And trudging through the far side of the course here, Andy Smedegaard trying to pick up everything he can. A little far back for me here. I think he'll have to get desperate if he wants to try to spook Cattell. But they've raced so respectfully so far.
They really have. That's a big gap. Andy taking a little bit shallower line. Cattell squaring off that corner a little bit more.
Oh, look at Andy gain there into 9.
Andy again a little bit shallower on entry. That might be why his exit isn't quite as strong out of 10.
Eric Cattell in the hybrid racing EG is on a championship hunt. He is desperately trying to close the gap to the C5 Corvettes that have plagued him in his championship hunts for so long. And he throws it down into 11, all the way to the edge of the racetrack, giving it everything he can. Andy Smedegaard isn't going to do it, but Eric Cattell is. 3 wins out of 4 races. He will retake the championship lead heading into the last 2 rounds of the season in 2025. And Eric Cattell is back on top again.
What a phenomenal race. And my goodness, did they put a gap on Waldbaum and Rosenberg.
Yeah, and you see that gap represented there this weekend. 97 points for Cattell, 91 for Andy, 68 for Matan Rosenberg, who finishes 4th in this one. Lita Chin 60, Ayrton Grimm top 5 on the weekend with 54 points. But for Eric Cattell, doing everything he needs to do. There's Tony Marchev charging up through the grid. Joe Tulo's about to get a top 10, I think, in that number 43.
Unreal. That's awesome for him.
And he will across the line.
Great job.
Wow. Oh, that's
Piero.
Piero Pucci off at turn 13. Is there a little damage on that car? Flat tire, it looks like, maybe. Oh, there is some damage to that car.
Yeah, that left front looks a little wonky.
So looks like he'll limp it across the finish line here, down the order a little ways. But
overall, he had a great weekend. This is his first run out here, like in GLTC, right?
Yeah, it is, and he did a nice job there, pending whatever happened down there at it's that left rear. Yeah, it looks like he got hit, I think.
Oh, that's a bummer.
Yeah. But checkered for Eric Cattell, and let's have a look at the race results. Here at Autobahn Country Club, Eric Cattell by 0.7 of a second and 3 for 4 this weekend. Mike didn't do the clean sweep, but this will help a lot.
Yeah, that's about as close as you can get. Lena Chin pulling in top 5. Awesome weekend for her.
Yeah, and Ayrton Grimm, best finish he's ever had in a weekend. Finally got that car running very, very well. Eric Jensen, top 10. Joe Tulo with, I think, his first ever scored top 10 here as well. Looking down the rest of the order, Tony Marchev from the back of the field to 11th. All in all, pretty clean looking race from what I could tell, other than that slip up at the start where everyone just sort of drove off the road.
Turn 3, man, I'm telling you.
It's tricky. They have a nickname for a reason. Die Win, Matt Beck. We heard Michael Pagano had an issue. Engine shut off and wouldn't restart, so he finished down 23rd. Salil Shukla and Rory Lonergan down in 25th place. Wow, that was fun.
Unbelievable weekend.
And the paddock is beginning to clear out here because we're down to the last race of the weekend coming up in just a little while. We'll have some last 2 races of the weekend, I should say. We've got Drift coming up next, and then the GRIDLIFE GT race after the Rush race. GT will be the last thing on the day. And before we step away from the GLTC segment here, let's have a look at the highlights from GRIDLIFE Touring Cup race number 4. Knowing that the invert would mix things up a little bit, Eric Cattill's focus was to catch that 484 Matan Rosenberg, but they both had to pass the 90 of Matt Waldbaum on the start of the race. Matt did just that, drove away from the 90 car, but it didn't take too long before Cattill and Andy Smedegaard passed the ASM S2000. Jensen, Jake Dorenstad, Joe Tulo, Mike Pagano, Dai Wynn, and others tracking through turn 13. Great battles all over the course, but it was once again the 82 and 212 that fought lap after lap. Smedegaard throwing the car at the curbs, trying everything he could to carry speed. But in the end, Eric Cattill in the Hybrid Racing EG, event after event, just trudging away, clipping every point he can off of the margin for the 484. And Eric Cattill wins Eibach GLTC Race 4.